Hey, it's Dr. Manny from Break the Cage MD. I believe we're on number 20. Number 20 is Entrepreneurship is about interaction. It's part of the action series. Yesterday, we started off with action, the general idea, and then we looked into attraction, and we even looked at traction as a sub element of that. But yeah, so I look back, and apparently the ants have made a home on this post. Uh, so entrepreneurship is about interaction. To give you a couple more ideas to hold on to make the interaction have more traction in your brain, let's see, there's two ways we can look at it. One example that I use often is ritual versus procedure. Uh, a ritual is when you're doing something and you enjoy the actual ritual. You don't necessarily care about the end goal, how you're going to get there. And so you're not necessarily paying attention to the feedback. Um, a procedure is more dependent on the feedback, and you adjust your controls based on the environmental feedback you're getting while performing the task. Um, a scientific model of this, and I've discussed this in the past, is what's called sign tracking versus goal tracking. Uh, if you develop a habit of sign tracking, there's an increase in what's called incentive salience. Whatever it is that was supposed to be your indicator, your incentive to chase the goal, now becomes a distraction. And we did discuss distraction a couple of early in the action series, but it becomes a distraction because you no longer head and put your energy towards the goal, but instead you're putting your energy towards getting more of the stimulus. You see this a lot in substance abuse where a person is no longer trying to relieve their stress and develop their coping skills, but instead they're trying to numb that uncomfortable feeling or pursue the high that they're never going to get anymore, chasing the dragon. So either way, it's distraction, it's loss of the goal. That ties back to ritual versus procedure. Now, what's important to notice is that when you're in ritual mode instead of the procedure mode, you're you're making misinferences. Your inferences, which is the process from which your brain goes through the empirical data into what the implications, the what it means, what value it has to you, what your interpretation. Um, so ritual versus procedure means that you're making the inferences without thinking about the feedback or without thinking about the goal-directed procedure. Uh, so your trajectory is off. That's suboptimal. Second element is that, and this is to me, this is the whole idea of KPIs, key performance indicators, in business. But now there's a second aspect. There's the aspect of algorithm versus recipe. Now, when you're dealing with an algorithm, what you've done is uh, an algorithm is so that, quote, an idiot in a hurry can follow it. You're not expecting a person to make any leaps of inference. You're not expecting any decisions. You're not expecting any intuitions. You're not expecting any adjustments as well, based on emotion. It's exact measurements. It accounts for dealing with someone who has less expertise. Whereas a recipe conveys information for how to get from point A to point B, but allows the expert to take the sub functions, the sub steps, and adjust them based on their expertise, based on the terrain, adjust to taste, a pinch of salt until it's a golden brown instead of 5 minutes. Uh, it's an inferential allowance when you're dealing with an expert. So when you're dealing with emotional inference, you need recipes. Uh, Recipes tend to also allow room for judgment, and as such, allow integration of core values and the ethos of the collective into the decision making process. So KPIs are more get or done, meet the objectives. Uh, Recipes move away from algorithms and move away from dependency on the KPIs and move the responsibility to the expertise of the person um, driving the process, usually based on their intuition, expertise, vision, and I think that covers it. Yeah, so two sets of sub ideas within the infrastructure of the idea of entrepreneurship is interaction. Uh, I gave you two examples at a more concrete level of implementation. I've been trying to provide more concrete models of the. Um, I'm thinking about Hofstadter's discussion about coffee sub one, coffee sub two. For those of you who read Surfaces and Essences, it's abstraction metaphor. But yeah, so that captures those idea sets. Essentially, you're looking at entrepreneurship is interaction in a dyad, such that